Thank you very much. Please give him a big applause. His theme is Rotary and the United Nations working together.
Konnichiwa. On 19 September 1961 at approximately 1 p.m., a Douglas DC-6 plane was flying over the sky of northern Rhodesia, the African country we now know as Zambia. The plane mysteriously exploded in the air and 15 people perished, including Dag Hammarskjöld, the second United Nations Secretary General. He was en route to negotiate a ceasefire agreement in the Congo War and was awarded a posthumous Nobel Peace Prize for his service to the world and to the sublime ideals of peace. Dag Hammarskjöld left behind a public legacy that included building the United Nations Organization as a tool for the common good of mankind, focused on peace, justice, human rights, and human development principles. But there is also a personal legacy of integrity and service exemplified in one of his less known quotes, and I quote, "The only kind of dignity which is genuine is that which is not diminished by the indifference to others." The ones that knew him closely always argued that he died having lived a life full of accomplishments and joy in the face of challenge. This man, Dag Hammarskjöld, embodies what Khalil Gibran, the Lebanese-American laureate poet, meant when he wrote, "I slept and I dreamed that life is all joy. I woke and saw that life is all service. I served and I saw that service is joy." Gibran must be right, and his writings indeed touch the human soul, as he remains one of the 3 best-selling poets of all time, in the same category as Shakespeare and Lao Tzu, the creator of Taoism. Dear friends, I am here to paint a picture that hopefully describes the unique partnership between the United Nations and Rotary International. I am also here to express on behalf of our Secretary General our deepest gratitude to the citizens of Hiroshima for hosting us in this beautiful city and for including us in the 2013 Global Peace Forum. Especially, Governor Yusaki, you are a UN champion, and I feel humbled by the friendship you have granted me. Thank you for welcoming us again in Hiroshima. Why Hiroshima? With the historical legacy of 6 August 1945 and its rapid post-war reconstruction process, I believe Hiroshima is the best possible place to hold such a unique international dialogue to strengthen humanity's shared desire for global peace and to entrust the new generation with this valuable ideal. As President Tanaka has said, we must recognize that the future prospects for world peace rest with today's youth. You are right, Mr. President, and you are implementing the best possible strategy to ensure that your model of peace through service remains one of Rotary's priorities in the future. When we are all going to see our Creator, the youngsters in this room are the ones that will continue to uphold Rotary's credo of service and global peace. On a more personal note, and as the son of a Rotarian, and I will stop reading my notes just to honor a 46 years of service in the country of Ecuador that my father has dedicated to this beloved organization of ours. And I call it ours, even though I'm no longer a Rotarian, but I was an interactor. I must express apologies. On a more personal note, I was saying, as the son of a Rotarian, I must express my admiration to the mission of Rotary International and its achievements around the world for so many decades. I am a humble example, I believe, of how the spirit of Rotary contributes to shape the life of a young person. At the other side of the planet, completely, literally at the other side of the planet, in the city of Quevedo in Ecuador, in South America, part of Rotary International's District 4400, I learned early on from my father that one's life should be dedicated to service and to the public good. I can honestly say that it is because of Rotary that I chose to become a public servant, a diplomat, and later on to work for the United Nations. I remember reading in the Rotarian, Rotary's International Outstanding magazine, a phrase by Mahatma Gandhi, the great non-violent revolutionary from India, that said, and I quote, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." Being in my teens, I began understanding why all my father's friends will meet every single Thursday evening for countless hours to discuss how to serve our community. I realized why my early involvement with Interact was meant to be more than having fun with my friends. I embraced the need to develop leadership skills and personal integrity, and understood the value of individual responsibility and hard work. I owe Rotary for giving me the motivation to pursue a career in public service and for empowering me to be standing here in front of you today. I am honored also to recognize Rotary International for actively promoting ideals of peace and social development, and especially for nurturing the youth of the world as they will become indeed the next generation of global leaders. These activities have had a significant impact on my personal life and have motivated several citizens of Hiroshima, including this humble servant, to create a unique program called the United Nations Youth Ambassador with the support of UNITAR, the agency that I belong to. In this room today, now, we have a true ambassador for global peace, a bright young person that one day will become a decision maker that will find difficult to abandon the ideals being discussed today, and that will find comfort in a life of service and dedication to others. You will have the privilege to hear from him tomorrow morning. But, as mentioned at the beginning, I would also like to acknowledge the similitude between the missions of Rotary International and the United Nations. It must be noted that Rotarians played an important role in the formation of the UN, with 49 Rotarians attending the San Francisco Conference in 1945 to help draft the UN Charter, our Constitution. They were the ones that galvanized every country representative and diplomat into creating an organization where peacemaking will reign till this day, and where humanity will avoid the same mistake we made twice last century, World War II and I. Wars that claimed countless lives and remain dark periods of world history. We do know that in Hiroshima. Rotary and the United Nations have a long history of working together and sharing similar visions for a more peaceful world. Even earlier than that, in 1942, Rotary clubs from 21 nations organized a conference in London to develop a vision for advancing education, science, and culture after World War II. That event was a precursor to UNESCO. Rotary and the UN have been close partners ever since, a relationship that's apparent through Polio Plus and work with several UN agencies, including mine. Rotary currently holds the highest consultative status offered to a non-governmental organization by the UN's Economic and Social Council, which oversees many specialized agencies and the center of our governance with the General Assembly. Rotary has been a trusted partner of the United Nations for more than 6 decades now, and remains a role model for us when it comes to community service. The ideas and concepts of Rotary International remain vital and inspire those at the heart of the United Nations, including me. Rotary will continue to guide us in the future. I would like to finish with something that I will always remember since the very first time I read this phrase. In 1910, Rotarian Arthur Frederick Sheldon gave a speech at Rotary's first convention in Chicago. He said, and I quote, "Only the science of right conduct toward others pays. Business is the science of human services. He profits most who serve his fellows best." He did not know at the time that he was entrusting Rotary to adopt a motto that would last more than a century, till today, actually. The motto of "one profits most who serve best" remains a fresh phrase, remains a current call to action, and we also follow it in the UN. I leave you with Sheldon's motivation on my mind and encourage you all to continue in your quest to promote global peace. Thank you very much. Domo arigato gozaimasu.
それでは記念品の贈呈がございます。
With your permission, Mr. President, I would like to take advantage of this opportunity on behalf of my Secretary General, the Honorable Ban Ki-moon, to present to you a small recognition of great value for us at the United Nations and for the agency that I work with, UNITAR. It's called the Global Partner Award. It's presented to people like you, Mr. President, that do make a difference in the world. And I would be delighted to show you why this embodies the ideals of the United Nations and the ideals of Rotary. World peace. These are the olive branches. To you, sir.
今度は田中会長からメヒアさんにプレゼントがございます。
Tanaka is going to present his gift from Rotary to Mr. Mejia.
Thank you very much.
田中会長ありがとうございました。